Hi, this is the Russian Reversal, and today I have my long-awaited unboxing video of the PlayStation Classic. This guy is pretty controversial in as far as the quality of its games. I'm not going to get super into that. Probably the reason being is I'm not a huge person on when it comes to how the games look. I play retro games and on older systems and older televisions. So as some probably people who are more into emulation are really going to be hardcore about that. I'm really not. What I'm really concerned about is a couple things. One, does it look cool? Which the packaging looks pretty cool, and from everything I've heard, looks pretty cool. Two, the quality of games, which is probably my biggest hang up. I don't want to get too much into it because I feel like everybody else is kind of beat up on it. I did not really play much PlayStation as a kid when it originally came out. I was always really behind on systems when I was a kid. My uncle had a PlayStation, and I played, I think, Cool Borders, or it might have been Snowboarding 180, one of those games, and the Jurassic Park game, and that was really it. So I don't really have as much nostalgia about the PlayStation as most people. And the other thing too is I use the PlayStation 2 somewhat regularly, so that's probably more of my system, even though this was quite a prominent system when I was a kid. So anyway, let's get to the unboxing. By the way, I do have an old PlayStation. I don't really use it very often. I usually use the PlayStation 2, especially even if I want to play most PlayStation games, but we can do some comparisons as well. So let's take a quick look at what the PlayStation Classic unboxing looks like. So here's the PlayStation Classic. One thing of note as well is it doesn't have the DualShock controllers, which to me is a little bit of a miss. I really like the DualShocks. Apparently, especially with, here's the list of games, and if you look, Metal Gear Solid, that one is kind of important for the rumble and the DualShock too. So, got to be a little careful on this one, but still, I'm really more interested in the aesthetics of this guy. So let's unbox it and see what it looks like. So, got the little tab here. I already took off the little sticker tab. If you watch my other videos, you know how I feel about those. The way the box pops out is kind of interesting. So, hold this. I'm struggling with it just a tiny bit. So after a little bit of struggling, I got this out. This actually looks really cool. I really like the minimalist part. So this is actually pretty slick. I like it. Now we have another little box tab. Luckily we have a little handy tab there. So boxes inside boxes, like the Russian nest dolls of packaging, which is an interesting way of going. First we have the manual. If you know what a mini console is or what a PlayStation is, probably don't really need this, but nicely laid out. I kind of like this design, the way the first page looks. And then we have another box with another tab. And this presentation is actually pretty cool. So that's how it looks. It is really cute, actually. So I don't have the largest of hands, but this is actually pretty slick. I like how this box is presented, even though it's a lot of cardboard. It looks really good. So we have two buttons, actually three buttons. So you have the reset button, which gets you back to the home menu, the on button, the open button, which from what I've read and seen on YouTube, this is for games that use multiple discs, like Final Fantasy VII. So if it says to change discs, you open, and that will switch out the disc for you. On the back, we have the mini USB, HDMI, so pretty simple, pretty minimalist. USB cables for the PlayStation, so the cables for the controllers actually. So let's see what's Okay, so he's got some extra flaps on the side, pops out. And then we have our controllers. So we got two, which is actually pretty nice. I'm glad that they have two controllers. So that's pretty huge. The other thing too is you have your power cable. It does not include an AC adapter, which is kind of a bummer. I'm slightly speculating that because of the different regions that a lot of companies are moving away from this, as both a cost-saving measure and just to make things a little easier. But it's interesting that a lot of companies are moving away from having power supplies. The other thing too is you have an HDMI cable. I have like a million HDMI cables laying around, but nice to always have one with the packaging, because most people aren't crazy cord hoarders like I am. Let's take a quick look. Let's start with the controller actually, because I think this is one of the more. The controller is one of the more controversial aspects of. It feels nice. It's really light compared to my other controller, which is. So that's kind of a little bit of a comparison there. This one feels much lighter, so but it doesn't feel flimsy. Honestly, for this time period, a lot of controllers weren't super ergonomic, and the DualShock 1 is actually not too bad in that aspect. So this is pretty cool. I actually like this. So a little curious about this being USB. The interesting thing here is I wonder if you can like plug this in and like run ROMs off of it. So that's kind of cool. It also looks like it plugs in pretty nicely. And nobody ever gets a USB on the first try. Yeah, it plugs in really nicely. Super cute. I really like it. So I'll actually compare what the consoles look like. So this is my original PlayStation. It's in a little bit of rough shape, so that'll kind of give you an idea size-wise. So kind of see there, it's really tiny. It looks really cute. So honestly, this one might just mostly fit on my shelf. I am a little interested in playing the Final Fantasy, Rayman, and Persona games that are on here. So I'm not as much of hung up on those as some other folks, but so this will probably mostly sit on my shelf. And I'll actually do a comparison of some of my other mini consoles. I have two versions of the Super Famicom Mini and a SNES Mini as well, so I might do a little comparison on those, but here we are. This is what this PlayStation Classic looks like, and feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll talk more later. Thank you so much. Bye.